Hey everyone, Phobos here, coming at you with a little bit of a channel update slash build guide, I guess. But this won't probably be the full guide, just a little bit of an update as to what I've been doing as of late. So I haven't made a video in quite a while, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit because it's not necessarily intentional, but it's just with Path of Exile in terms of when I make a video that's in regards to a build, I kind of like to at least get it to the high 80s and get some decent gear on it and kind of run it through a decent map or something like that. Just make sure everything's in place to test it. So what ends up happening is from getting the build concept and like simming it in Path of Building and then translating it into the game, there's probably like a 3 to 4 day period at least where that happens, where I've gone from like the concept to the actual build. The leveling normally doesn't take that long, although with totem builds it's a little bit less efficient, I would say, than something like self-cast. Like the self-cast freezing pulse build was leveled very quickly. It had really good clear speed. Something like this Incinerate build that I'm working on doesn't have quite as good clear speed, but is really good boss killer, so there's trade-offs. But yeah, so it can take a little time to level stuff. And basically, I just need to get better at making videos in the interim and kind of like little updates, I guess, for people following the channel, because I know people like that and they kind of don't like to be left in the dark for a week, because the reason why you subscribe to a channel is obviously because you want to like a fairly continuous stream of content. So I'm going to be a lot better at doing that. And I think one of the things that I'm going to incorporate into the channel, and I'll make it a new section. I have Path of Exile gameplay, Path of Exile guides, and I'm going to add like Path of Exile, I don't know, like discussion maybe it'll be or something, where I'll make a video just on a topic in the game. Like I had some ideas for doing like a CI versus life video, but kind of a little bit of a different approach than like Pox did in his. Like Pox made a great video, but there were some things that I wanted to kind of highlight that I'm not sure if he like fully went over. So I was gonna make some more videos like that, just talking about the actual structure of the game and how things work, my feelings on it, and stuff like that. So I think that'll be a good way to bridge the gap in between actual build content, um, because I don't want to just like take a video of the character. Like I kind of don't want to do a video where it's just me simming a character, right? Because then there's no practical application of the sim, right, that you guys can see. And then I don't want to do a video of my character in like, I don't know, normal dry lake or something as I'm leveling it. So there's kind of like a lot of points in between that I really just wouldn't feel comfortable doing a video, because I wouldn't want to give people the impression that the build is necessary a success and functional, and when maybe it doesn't turn out to be so hot at the high level, right? So yeah, I think I'm going to do that going forward, try and populate the channel a bit with some more content. And so thank you for being patient with me though in the meantime. And as for the rest of the update, so what's been going on? So the Freeze Pulse character actually ripped in one of the worst ways ever, and it actually had me fairly salty for about half a day, because I was basically doing a Shape Dunes, and I think it was like level 89 or something, about to be 90, and I had to leave my computer to help somebody with something, so I did that, and I had logged out of the map. And then when I came back into the map, it was a Devourer map, and because there was a period where I was away, I thought that I had cleared around Tora in the map, and it turns out that I didn't clear all the way around her, I guess. Like there was a spot that I had missed. So I ran over to talk to her, just because I generally like doing Toras. What I'll do is I'll proc the Tora, and then if I run into the mobs, great, I'll kill them, because it's normally extra magic mobs, so it's nice to have extra magic mobs in your map, right? And if I don't find them for whatever reason, I won't really break my back looking in most cases, unless it's like an easy map to look through. But so I talked to the Tora, and as I'm talking to her, it kind of does that thing where it like locks you in chat with the master, and then like literally right as I talked to her, a bunch of Devourers spawn. I think it was like 8 blue Devourers, and they just like popped up and killed me. I wasn't streaming at the time. I wish I had the rip recorded, because it's actually kind of funny, and it's a pretty good example, like maybe a learning or a teaching point for what not to do. Of course, like I know that you should always look around the master before you talk to it, but in this case, I think just because I was sort of distracted, and then came back, that, yeah, it was just pretty unfortunate how it happened. So I was a little salty there because I was having a blast in that character and it looked like it was going to be really fun. And what I ended up doing was I bought a bunch of gear for a Freezing Pulse CI version of the build, which is going to be better because it's CI basically, and it does more damage. So it's like 600 and something K I simmed, and this is basically all the gear. I might do a little video, separate video about this, but basically going to use level 4 Empower with a Skin of the Loyal. The ES is going to be not super high. You could definitely get it higher if you wanted to use a Regalia, but I just wanted to try the Skin of the Loyal because I don't think I'm going to need super high ES for the type of content that I'm doing because I'm probably not going to run Guardians with it. I'm more just interested in leveling. I'm not like a super big, if you've noticed, like some of the builds that I've been doing, I'm not as into boss killing. I've cleared the bosses, but it's not something that I like to kind of like repeat farm every league. Even though in hardcore it can be quite profitable, as you've seen like Ziz really farming Uber Zeri and stuff, but it's just, it gets pretty repetitive. And what I will say though is that the loot in this game is much better than in other games where you do boss killing. I'd say, like, because I used to play Diablo 2 and you used to do like, I don't know, like runs of certain bosses, right? And it would be like forever to get a good item. But in this game, you actually have like a decent chance of getting items that are reasonable. So like if you do it Zeri, like the Vertex is selling for quite a bit now, and you can get a Disfavor. Like she normally is dropping something at least decent. So boss killing in this game is in a pretty good state, but it's still not really my cup of tea. And I prefer to do mostly mapping content. So yeah, but that's what's happening with the Freeze Pulse build. I know I said I'd make another guide with it. I may do that. I could do it just on standard now that it's a higher level, but it's probably going to be the same. I mostly just added a Vol Haste, and then I think I upgraded the movement skill. It's like a Lightning Warp or something. So basically just the things I said in the other video, so I'm not really sure if it'd be worth making an entirely new video about it, because it's all just really simple, intuitive stuff that you would kind of like upgrade. And my character just didn't have those things at the time because I was either messing around with the slots and the gear or something like that, you know? So pretty intuitive stuff. But yeah, this next build I'll definitely make a guide. I just didn't want to do another Freeze Pulse build right after the first one. So that's why and this Incinerate idea kind of sprung into my head. So that's why I'm kind of doing this for now. But I'll definitely level this other Freezing Pulse character up, and it should be pretty fun to play it and then demo it for you guys. And what I'm doing right now, I'll give you just a quick little rundown. So this is like an Incinerate totem chieftain, and the idea is to basically use Emberwake and stack a fuck ton of ignites. And we're also using Soul Mantle because, yeah, I call it a meme item all you want, boys. But I don't know, it's just been so fun for me to play with because I just love being able to have an extra link on my spell totem. It's not the best item in the game by any means or anything like that, but I just love messing around with it and making builds around it. So you guys are gonna refer to me as like the Soul Mantle dude or whatever. But the cool thing about this is that it gives you a whole nother totem, so obviously that's really good in terms of stacking ignites. And I have a taming for this build. Right now I'm not really using it because the build is still kind of like, I'm still leveling the build up and sort of squish. I don't really need the damage because I'm mostly doing low maps, and it's more for like bossing damage anyway. So I just figured if I had like the freak rip, I wouldn't want to rip with a taming. So I'm just keeping the build how it is right now, but taming is obviously really good because you can get a fuck ton of ignites on the target. So that gives you a lot of increased damage. And yeah, I don't have a helm. I've spent so much crafting a helm. Like I've spent so much crafting Incinerate helm. Like I think like at least 100 plus chaos, and I still can't get anything decent. So I just went with like a helm with high ES and stuff like that. So and to cover the res and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And I've been using these boots just for the ignite chance. The idea is you need to stack a lot of like ignite chance too, because I'm using ignite chance jewels as well, because you don't crit with incinerate. So the only way to make it ignite is to have ignite chance. But in terms of the damage, like projected, it's really well. It looks really good. If you have it on a 6 link, and you have good weapons, we're looking at like 600k ignite from one totem essentially, and then the actual totem damage is around like 120k or 110k. So that means that you're getting basically like 1.8 mil ignite plus like around 300k damage, and that's to like I think that's the normal bosses, and then like to Shaper, because the ignite duration gets cut down, it's lower than that, but it's still pretty good. So it's going to be a lot of damage, I think, when it gets finished. But right now it's just kind of like slow leveling. I don't have my 6th link. I don't have all my gear. Ideally, you would use scepters for this, but because they're so hard to find, I'm just using wands. These wands are pretty decent. But yeah, scepters are definitely better because the elemental damage essentially double dips. So if you can get a scepter and a wand and they both had equivalent rolls, the scepter would always be better. I want to get the pen, not the elemental damage, because not the elemental pen. I mean, you don't want to get the pen, sorry. You want to get the elemental damage because the elemental damage double dips. And another option you could do with this too that I'm playing around with is, especially for single target, is you can throw in a Tukahama shield, and that gives you 4 totems. So obviously, you're going to lose a bit of damage, like in terms of just per Incinerate, right? Or per like totem, but you're gaining a whole extra totem, and the damage on the Tukahama shield is like 40% just damage. So it's actually kind of nice because it double dips. So that's actually like fairly decent. And then you get the armor bonus, which is nice because you have like 4 totems out, and then you have some armor on gear, as you can see. So that's like never super bad. And yeah, it seems really good. And then if you get a scepter, because if you have a shield, that means you only need to get 1 good scepter, because otherwise you would need 2 really good scepters, which is really hard to find. It's a lot easier to find 1 pretty decent scepter. So if you had like a scepter and a shield, you could shield charge, which would make the movement a lot better. So using the Tukahama shield has a lot of advantages. You also get block and you get more health. So yeah, I think it's something that I would definitely like to try in this build at some point in the future. I think the prices might actually drop on that shield because it's kind of niche, so I might just wait a little bit longer and then try and snag one when it comes down. But yeah, and you can see the tree here. Right now I'm level like 84. I'm just gonna finish out getting these ignite nodes, and then probably some damage nodes, and there's some more health to get, and maybe these totem nodes or something like that, but it kind of depends. I'm not entirely sure. This is like the basic point of the build, or the basic tree. In terms of the defenses, this should be at like at least 5k life by the end of this, and the ES should be like 2k. And then you have around, I'm going to get some more mana as I level up and stuff, but you should basically have around like 800, 900 mana with Mind Over Matter. And what I basically have going on right now is that I'm leeching to the ES with Ghost Reaver and the Ascendancy, as you can see here. I still need to pick up my other Ascendancy points. I've been kind of lazy. Gotta get this, and then the Tukahama. The taunt one is really amazing for this build, by the way. But yeah, I'm basically leeching to my ES, and then my life is just getting filled up by life regen. So it's kind of an interesting concept there to do the hybrid thing, and actually sort of make it work fairly well. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on, and I'll come up with a more formal guide with this at some point in the future. But that's a pretty good explanation for now. It's sort of similar to the other Incinerate character I had, but this is just like Ignite based is what it is, so it's spread a little bit thinner on the tree, so it doesn't have as much raw health, and it doesn't have another layer of defense. So that's pretty much just the differences. But yeah, so that's about it. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section, and I'll come back to you with another vid shortly. So thanks for watching.